Vampires are mythical creatures who suck life from their victims. Vampire wells are deep production wells that suck water from the wells of long-time residents until their wells go dry. What you will see is completely true, exactly as it happened.
I moved to Reno back in 1984 with my wife and 2 children, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I wanted to live in Reno. I had some friends that live here, and Reno is just a beautiful place to live. And even more importantly, I wanted to build a solar house, and Reno is a prime place for that because of the climate. I would like to say I built this house by myself because I drew my own blueprints and pretty much pounded every nail and dug our foundation and everything, but my wife was a great help. So the 2 of us together built this house. So to develop this property, the only legal thing to do would be to drill my own well because there was no other way to bring in water. So in drilling our well, we researched the area as far as our neighbors and the fire station. They were down about 275 feet. So we calculated that in our budget, and off they started drilling. And they was drilling, and they drilled further and further before they hit water. And we thought, oh my goodness, we're just going to eat hamburger this winter to make up for the money we have to pay for the well. And instead they drilled even further. So my wife teased about we weren't going to even eat at all this winter. But they got down to 400 feet, and we finally got water.
The well is completely legal. The county issued a permit to drill it, and Nevada law says it's entitled to a maximum of 1,800 gallons a day for domestic use. According to county documents, it's the policy of the state to recognize the importance of domestic wells and to protect their supply of water from unreasonable adverse effects. This area to the south was subdivided into acre lots without municipal water service, and every house has its own well. In 1997, things began to change. Newcomers bought land further south. They built a golf course, irrigated it with enough water for 300 or 400 homes, and sold expensive lots in a gated community to people who built multi-million-dollar palaces. Another developer tried to build 400 new homes in the area. The neighbors protested that their wells were going dry, but the county approved 168 new houses. The new houses are easy to see, but another, more sinister story is unfolding underground. The county and private water companies drilled a dozen deep production wells, and these vampire wells are sucking the life from the neighbors' wells. Some of the new wells are 800 feet deep, far deeper than the neighbors' wells. In some years, they pumped enough water to supply 3,800 homes. Plans call for supplying 5,700 homes, many of which are miles away.
So we were enjoying life, and my new granddaughter came to Reno to visit, and we had a party, and we were watering the lawn, and no water came out of the hose. That was a good 6 years ago. So that was our first problem we ever had with the well, and so we started figuring out what's going to have to happen. So knowing that there's still undeveloped properties around me, I thought maybe all us neighbors could go in together, and I researched what it would take to develop that water line, and they said it'd have to be an 8-inch main for fire hydrants and whatnot, and it's $1,000 a foot, and it's over 1,000 feet to my property. So quickly I did the math in my head, thought, oh, that's $100,000, where I didn't figure it right, it's $1 million. So we came home from a trip, a little vacation, to a bare lawn that had already turned brown, and we realized we had no water. So it finally hit that the time had come, and so instantly we needed to live. So I started hauling water in a trash can from the fire station, so we had water to drink, and we had to go through the permitting process through Washoe County to deepen our well. I called the well company right away, and they could come out the next day and start to deepen, but they could not legally come out and start drilling until they had their permit in hand. So we took $318 to the health department, took more money to the Washoe County Water District, and waited for letters to be sent from one company to the other. They wouldn't even let us go down and hand carry the letter to the next agency. We had to wait in the mail for the letter to arrive to deepen our well. And all the time we would call them and see what was going on with the process, and they would say, well, it's not done yet. And why are we deepening the well, they would ask. And I'd say, because we're getting tired of camping in our own house. So I had a well that worked for 24 years, and life was good. And it went dry, and so I had to come up with $17,000 to deepen my well and put a new motor down there. And Washoe County gave me $10,000, which I was thankful I got something, but it wasn't what it cost me to do it, and they're the ones that have taken my water from me.
Between 2001 and 2010, 170 of the neighbors had to drill their wells deeper, at a cost of several $1,000s per well. First, the county said it was just too bad. The neighbors' wells should have been deeper to begin with. Then the county installed municipal water and told people they couldn't drill deeper. Instead, each homeowner should pay $15,000 of connection fees, pay to connect their home with a water meter, pay to close their well, and buy back their water each month from the water company. Now, the county is offering to waive its fees, but homeowners are still responsible for all costs on their property and will have to buy back their own water. Their out-of-pocket expenses could easily be $20,000 a home over a 10-year period.
I paid to drill this well. Now I have to pay to abandon the well, and I'm going to have to pay to buy the water back.
These people owned wells and had a right to use them. Why should water vampires be able to steal their water and sell it back to them? Our regional water plan calls for 130,000 new people, but we've already had voluntary water restrictions to get through a drought. Whose water will the newcomers use? Are the well owners' stories a preview of what water vampires plan for the rest of us? Will we be forced to use ever less water until our lawns and trees die like the neighbors' wells?